Guys. Hey, Centuric, Edward, Robert. Good to see you guys. Give everybody just a second to filter on in. Tales from elsewhere. Hey, good to see you. Morning, Peter. Um, so what are we doing this morning? I just released the Nimble Creators Kit that has a bunch of advice. This is free on the website if you want to check it out. It's got a bunch of free advice for creating cool stuff, not just for Nimble, just for like good RPG design tips, all together. But it is specifically, for if you want to make like things for the Nimble system. And to celebrate that, we are doing, and by we, it's me. I'm doing the very first, and maybe only, Nimble Design Jam. So I've put out the word for different creators who want to check out the Creators Kit and design an adventure to do that. So we've got a few adventure drafts in, and I wanted to just sort of quickly go over them. If you want to submit your design, the deadline I think is next week. So next Friday. Next Friday is the deadline. If you want to make an adventure, they are rather short adventures, so like 800 to 1,000 words. So it's not like 5, 6, 10 pages like some 5e adventures are. It's a one shot. It's really just if I just open up, let me go to this. There we go. So if I open up to, I've got the GM's guide here. It's like this. That's it. Like this is one adventure. It's dense, but it's each adventure should take place on one spread, right? So it's designed to be very light on words, and sort of just the thing, basically just the GM prep notes that a GM would need. So generally we would have, like in any 5e adventure, like Storm King's Thunder, you might have like, so chapter 4, The Chosen Path, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, maybe 15 pages of content. And then in order to prep that adventure, if I was running that, I would have to read through all 15 pages, and then I would like take notes. This part doesn't make sense. I need to like find the stat blocks. I need to fix this, change that. This adventure was written for 4 players. I've got 6, so I need to actually increase the So all those things that you would need to. So it takes you an hour or so to read through the adventure. And then it'll take you another 2 or 3 or 4 hours or however long you want to spend on it, actually prepping the adventure, like doing the rest of the work. So the Nimble adventures are written so that you don't need to do that. You can write it on the fly if you want to, or you can read it in 10 minutes beforehand, and that should be everything that you need. Okay, as I'm going through these, a few guidelines. So it should follow the Creators Kit guidelines, obviously, since that's what the whole thing is about. In the structure of the published adventures, you don't need to worry about layout or art or maps or monster design. Like you don't need to do any of that. I think some of the creators so far have submitted some monster designs, and that's fine. Don't worry about the numbers and all that. I've got a very good grasp on that. Monster stats are very quick to come up with in Nimble. If you don't know, I think I've got the GM guide. Monster stats are very quick to come up with in Nimble. The thing that is tricky is coming up with like the unique twist about it. Like, so if we have a level 1 goblin and a level 1 orc, they have the same stats. They attack for the same amount. They have the same HP roughly, but how do they feel different when you're fighting them, right? So that is so if you do end up making a monster, again, you don't have to, but if you do end up making a monster, feel free to just sort of have. And this is the weird thing about this monster, level 3 stats. You feel free to come up with whatever you want, Evan. So you don't need monster design or anything like that. But if you do want to just have a bullet point about a monster, this monster does X, Y, and Z. Fill in the numbers. So don't worry about layout and design and all that sort of stuff. It should be for low to mid-level heroes. Level 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Up. Level 3 to 8, somewhere around there is 3 to 6. Somewhere around there is fine. You're going to be judged on, one, is it fun? Okay, so is it, if it's a bog standard, we're going through the woods, we get to a tomb, we enter the tomb, we fight some things, we get the treasure at the end, and then we leave. Okay, that's fine, but there's a lot of adventures like that already. If you do that, like, is there some sort of twist? Is there something more interesting about it? Like if I have uh, if I have like I've got a bunch of different books with adventures in them. Why would I pick this one instead of that one, right? So why would I pick your adventure rather than something else? So first of all, you have to sell it to the GM. All right, I want to read this, and then it has to be fun for the players. Okay, so is it fun for the heroes? Does it offer meaningful choices? Does an interesting story unfold? Is it family friendly? So like, we don't want like NSFW stuff, like that kind of stuff, like that. That's just not not the vibes that we're going for. Does it capture the fantasy spirit? That kind of thing. Like a sci-fi adventure would be cool, but like not for what we're doing right now, at least. Is it fun for the GM? Is there interesting hook that makes me want to read it? And run it. Is it quick to prep, or does it need a lot of additional work for it to make sense and run smoothly? So most of the adventures that I've gotten back last year, as I was putting the GM guide together, they were like 50% of the way there, 60% of the way, 80% of the way there, but they needed like a lot of like, this is a weak spot, or it's very linear, different things like that. So what I would do when a writer would hand it off to me is I would put a lot of hours into it, like prepping it, so that when it's published, nobody else has to prep it. Tell someone else, or love smooth underlying math like that for monsters. Yeah, then you can focus on what makes them engaging, interesting. Exactly. That's right. So difficult to make it 1,000 words last night, 1,800. Yeah, Vinicius. Yeah, that is the hard part. So it's easy to write a long rambling letter, a long rambling adventure, but to find like this is the most important information that you need. You don't need anything else distracting you. Like, yeah, editing down is the hard part. Probably half of my time is spent like editing down, making it fit, making it make sense with the economy of words that's needed. So you can always explain a complex thing with a lot of words, but to explain it effectively and persuasively and interestingly and in a way that you can remember with just a few words, that's a lot harder. Okay, so with that, let's go to let's take a look at the first adventure. And I deliberately haven't looked at these ahead of time, so we're just sort of looking at these together. Well, we'll see. And this is uh, this is gonna be first look for all of us. So real quick, they have whoever has done this one, Fritz. Uh, just the first glance, it's not too long. It's not too scary for me, like to look at. And like I hate reading adventures. Like I like playing RPGs, but I hate reading adventures. I like playing them, but I don't like reading them. So this isn't like 20 pages. So first glance, not bad. What's going on? We've got some quest hooks, and then so it looks like largely we're following the thing. So far so good. Knocking on Death's Door. That's cool. That's a cool name. We could probably punch the name up a little bit. A long forgotten tomb for level 3 heroes to discover. Okay, cool. Okay, what's going on? Long ago, King Canicus the Corrupt. So generally, I like to keep names like sounding fantasy, but actually easy to say at a glance. Okay, so Canicus, it doesn't sound very kingly. And it tripped me up just a little bit. Canicus the Corrupt. There's a lot of C sounds in there. And his queen Hisset. Okay, so like Hisset, I've never seen that name before, but I was able to say it immediately. It sounds super fantasy. It's so super duper cool. We're assassinated by the king's own brother Gavius. And again, that's a cool name. So Canicus, 3 out of 10. Hisset and Gavius, 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10. Those are solid names. I've never met anybody named Hisset or Gavius, but they sound cool and fantasy. The king's most loyal servant, Iduma, who swore an oath to defend the king even after death, was voluntarily entombed with his beloved king. Okay, this oath became Iduma's curse. All right, so there is something that I call the Dune problem. Hey, Angela, there's something that I call a Dune problem. The first time I read Dune, it was packed full of strange names. The Kwisatz Haderach and Paul Atreides and this mother and the Bene Gesserit. Like there's all these different proper names of people and things and like things I'd never heard. And it's just too much to absorb. People can easily remember like one, like King Gavius, the bad guy. All right. So Gavius is the bad guy. Like, so your players, if I'm GMing and I say, all right, Gavius is the bad guy, they could likely remember one bit of information. But if there's like sort of complex things going on, we need to make sure that we phrase it, that we present it in a way that it can be most easily digested. So reading through these a couple of sentences, it reads a little bit confusing. So if you want to search for a really good blog post, this is an old article. If you just search the day you became a better writer, and I don't always do this, but this is something that is really, really a good thing to think about. So this is the whole thing. So it's not a very long article, but if you want to, I want to redirect your eye to this last section. How brains organize ideas. Readers comprehend the boy hit the ball quicker than the ball was hit by the boy. So both of the sentences mean the same thing, but one is much easier to digest. Okay, so what we have going on here, if the king's name isn't, if the king and queen's names aren't important, I don't know if they are. Cut them. Like we don't need the names. It could be like later in the thing in parentheses or something. But if we were to, if I were to tweak this, it might be the king has been assassinated. His loyal servant Iduma, and I would probably pick a different name rather than Iduma. It sounds like dummy. Like it sounds like, I don't know. It doesn't give me the right vibes. His loyal servant, something was blah 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 blah. Okay, so like that kind of thing. I don't need to remember, and maybe the names of these people are important and like the details are important, but we start with like the most important thing. The king has been assassinated. His loyal servant is buried with him. Or is it buried alive or something like that? I don't know. I don't even know. So that kind of thing, like you start with a punch. The king has been assassinated. This person was buried with him, and there's a curse. Okay, so that is what's happening, and the heroes have to like figure all this stuff out. Okay, king's most loyal servant Iduma, who swore an oath to defend his king even after death, was voluntary in tune with his beloved king. So like this is a really cool thing. A servant so loyal that you'd be buried alive with your king. That is super cool. You don't see that very often. Um, and then some curse. Yeah, that makes sense. Like, yeah, someone's like, you're buried alive. There's a curse happens. That totally makes sense. The trio were magically sealed behind a door. Trio. Oh, the king and queen. Okay. They're magically sealed behind a door of stone, and over time, whereas, okay, yeah, so it happened long ago, decades ago, an earthquake exposed the entrance. Okay, so this is good. Why now? So, okay, if all of this stuff happened a long time ago, it is good to answer the question, why now? Okay, an earthquake exposed the entrance to the tomb, which freed, and again, I would just say the servant. It's like the servant is easier to remember than like Aduma. I was like, wait, who is Aduma? Is that the guy who is that the name of the king, or is that the name of the bad guy, or the name of the? It's like the servant's easier, or like his herald or his knight. Like give him a title rather than a name is more helpful for my brain. Now white, and like I generally prefer like parenthetical things, like not needed information to complete the thought. Like jump over this if you don't need this information. To haunt the surrounding lands for several years now, any simple focus. Okay, all right. So this is cool idea, cool thing. Could be cleaned up probably. So like these two paragraphs could probably be cleaned up to like 2 sentences, maybe 3 sentences. So you could probably cut this in half. Quest Oaks, the Explorers Guild is hiring adventurers, so I love that we're using Explorers Guild. Karim, hey, we got Karim. That's the name of the orc. Let me see, where's the orcs? We got this orky boy, horde caller Karim. It's a name that I came across recently. I love that name. Recently moved into in the area, restoring an abandoned farmhouse. Their daughter has gone missing. Okay, so there's some details here that we could probably clean up. We could probably remove. We could say farmer's young daughter has gone missing. They want your help, like that kind of thing. Like get to the point a little bit more quickly. The towers learned that an undead creature, but also be careful with children, because a lot of people, like anytime like, oh, child's in danger, like no, we're not playing this adventure, like definitely not. So maybe it's like farmer, his wife was captured, or the farmer, her husband was captured, like, or missing or whatever. Like that kind of thing can be. And again, I don't know what happens in this adventure yet, but that kind of thing might make it more appealing for more people. The tower has learned that an undead creature with powerful sword, ooh, that's cool, is haunting the area. Believing the sword to be a magical relic, they have hired the heroes to retrieve it. Okay, that's cool. So 3 cool adventures, three cool quest hooks. This is sort of like the, out of the goodness of your own heart. This is like, ooh, maybe we'll get a cool item. And then this one is like the exploration. Like, hey, we just want to explore. There's some cool things. And I didn't even see this. Braveheart. I like that. Mule name Braveheart. Yeah, that kind of thing is cool. The ravine, 3 days west of Maryvale. Okay, not far from Karam and Charlotte's farmstead. And I would just say, like the farm. The heroes have discovered a trail leading down into a ravine. Nice, the Grimlock's Cave. Following the trail, walls on both sides get increasingly higher. Suddenly, around a bend, it opens wide to expanse. Okay. Makes me think of all the Forgotten Realms adventures and the tongue twisters and NPC names. Yeah. I enjoy the note in the GM guide about creating a glass cannon or tank. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so we're getting into narrative here, and we want to avoid narrative because like all of these details is not something that I'm going to be, as the GM, be able to remember. This should be like much more simple, bullet points, that kind of thing. So like we can't we shouldn't just narrate. Like the GM shouldn't just like narrate what's happening. Like the heroes should go and discover this, right? Unless you're just like cutting to the chase. Like maybe that's what we're doing. Following the trail, walls on both sides get increasingly higher. So there should be like somewhere in here there should be like and what do you do? Like, okay, you're following the trail. And like before heroes go down into this ravine with like these steep sheer walls, they're gonna say like, maybe we should scout around, maybe we should do this. I want to like fly around and see if there's anybody about ready to drop boulders on us or whatever. Like they're gonna want to do things rather than just saying, you go down into the thing and like this happens to you. Like, well, hang on, I would have done something different, So there should be, and what do you do about it, as much as possible. Okay. Suddenly, around a bend, it opens into a wide expanse around 100 feet. So yeah, we don't need this. So they're down in this thing, high walls. We don't need this detail. Sheer walls about 30 feet high. So too much description. Too much description. Dozens of shadowy cave openings line, and we don't really need this. Okay, so if we go back to this. Okay, so the main technique. So this is about business writing, but it's just about writing in general. Simple writing is persuasive. Simple writing is good. A good argument. It's talking about arguments of persuasion. But let's say, just swap an adventure. A good adventure written in 5 sentences will be enjoyable for more people than a great adventure that takes 100 sentences. Like that is the kind of thing that we're saying. So get rid of extra words. Don't write "he was very happy" when you can write "he was happy." Okay, but also with the economy of words, each word choice that you pick matters more. So don't say drink when you can say swill. Okay, so we're not just like having the fewest, most boring words. So can we say dozens of shadowy cave openings line the cliffs on either side of the expanse? You're surrounded by dark caves, like something like maybe that's not the best like specific thing, but we're taking like 12 words, 15 words, and we're cutting it down. Trail continues on the other side. So like even with all of this description, like I'm not able to map out what's going on. As the heroes enter the expanse, several, then dozens, of glowing pairs of red eyes appears at the cave, staring at the heroes. So all throughout this whole thing, the idea is really cool. There has to be and what like here's a situation with limited information. What do you do about it? And then if they succeed or fail, here's a couple of different options for me as the GM to throw out. If they succeed on the perception check or whatever, they see the red eyes. If they get really good, they know exactly how many Grimlocks there are, right? If they don't, then like you thought you thought you saw something, but it's just the mist that's going around the ground, that kind of thing. So like what happens if they fail or succeed on this check? So this isn't a novel, this is an adventure that I'm running, and I want the players, the heroes, as soon as possible to be, hey Maya, as soon as possible to be able to jump in and start having their input. Okay. Okay, if the heroes cross the expense Grimlocks, 1/4 small. Okay, so what is it about Grimlocks that are cool? Like stats again. Stats are already here. We don't really need stats. And again, but like, why is this a Grimlock and not a goblin? Well, because Grimlocks do actually, they have red eyes and they stare at you from afar. Like, what is it about the Grimlocks? If the heroes cross the expanse to the other side, one Grimlock minion per hero will throw a rock at the heroes, followed by a voice, "Go away." Okay, so that's kind of cool. So like these guys don't want to fight; they want to scare you away. So maybe we can lean into that. If the heroes linger, so this needs to be clear. So if there's some consequence that if the heroes do X, then Y will happen. That needs to be like super clear so that they're not like, well, why are they throwing rocks at me? Right? So it should be like there's a bunch of eyes that are looking at you. There's a bunch of eyes. They're not making any hostile action, right? But every step you take, they seem to be getting more antsed up. And they're tossing rocks like, and they're falling just short of you. If you get any closer, the rocks will be able to hit you. Like, give me an insight check. You roll high on insight. They seem to want to scare you away. And they're like, well, what do you do about that? Okay. So you have to give the heroes a chance, and something that we don't have are traveling encounters. So rather than narrating what happens on during the travel, here's a couple of things that could happen while you're traveling. So let's go to I think I've got the GM guide open. Oh, I already had it. Let's just pick any one of the adventures, whatever this one is. No, the tutorial adventure. We'll pick this one. Okay, so traveling encounters. So this is in the mountainous Iceforge Mountains. So what does it feel like as you're traveling in the Iceforge Mountains or to the Iceforge Mountains? You're gonna be crawling across a glacier face. You're gonna be meeting with dwarf merchants because that's where they live. You might find some discarded bones. You'll learn about like the iron goats who live in the things. You might encounter a blizzard. So like there's 4 cool things that if you're exploring the Iceforge Mountains, let's take a look at the map. So if you're up here in the Iceforge Mountains, it's going to be very different than if you're down here in some ravine, right? Like 3 days west of Maryville, you're not going to encounter blizzards or iron goats or dwarf merchants. You're going to encounter different things on the way there. So what happens on the way is a really important thing to be asking. But I do like the take on the Grimlocks not wanting to fight, but wanting to scare you away. So let's give them. Maybe we can lean into that. If the heroes linger or retaliate, 2 Grimlock brutes, rock and roar, will jump down, engage in the PCs. So say heroes instead of PCs. That's a little thing. But unless they are. So unless these 2 Grimlocks are going to be like engaging in conversation, I don't need their names. So if these 2 monsters are coming down and attacking, then like there's 0% chance I need their names. because like, oh, these guys are attacking me. Roll initiative. Yeah, I get to do my cool spells and my cool abilities that I just leveled up and I just learned. Like, yeah, I'm going to use those. I'm not about to chat with them, right? But if these are friendly Grimlocks or they're trying to scare you away, and there's a really high chance that we're going to engage in a conversation rather than combat, then yeah, give me their names because they're probably going to ask the names. Supported by Grimlock minions chanting rock, roar, rock, roar. Okay, that's kind of cool. They're chanting stuff. Grimlocks flee down a twisting maze and narrow tunnels if they're defeated. Okay, that's cool. Like, cool ideas. It needs to be cooked down a little bit more. Just a little bit more. Okay, Snake Gully. Continuing, the trail becomes narrower. 5 feet. Okay, long trail. Line. So again, let the heroes have like a choice of what to do. So like if we start here, there needs to be like, do you go left or do you go right? Right? And not every time, but like if you go left, this might happen. There's this kind of thing over to the left. If you go to the right, there's this thing. From the ravine, there's a snake gully or a stone circle. Like, why would I pick snake gully? Like, there's a gully this way, a narrow thing. It gets narrow, and there's the other direction is opens up to a wide area. So rather than like a linear, this happens and this happens and this happens, this happens, it should be like, I'm a hero, let me explore, let me have some choice over what happens to me or where I go. Along the trail lies dozens of skeletal remains of small creatures. Okay, so I really like this. I like the foreshadowing I like the foreshadowing. So I would say that this is I would classify this as like maybe a traveling encounter rather than like an adventure location, but either way. Um, so it should be like whatever gully. So like a small description, feeding chamber, and like a really super brief description. Heaps of filth, few rats eating, skitter away as you approach. So like I as a GM, I can read that very quickly, and I can like just scan that, read it in my mind, and then I can look up and say, it's disgusting, trash. I can describe it, rats. I can do that kind of stuff without having to read it, right? So Snake Gully, and then have like short, sort of very syncopated sentences to help me like describe this without like full sentences. Is that a large baby's rattle I hear? DC 12% check. Heroes who succeed may roll initiative as normal. Rattle, like baby's rattle. That might be 2 on the nose. Like you might describe it like a different way. Like it sounds like some rocks or pebbles, like being shaken in a tin can or something like that. Like like not so on the nose, like just a step or 2 away. That kind of thing. So if someone hears like rocks in a can and these things, like yeah, they could put it together a big rattlesnake. Maybe not a perception check. Maybe it could be like a naturecraft check or something else. Like you can see like the little slither marks from the snake. So for a common encounter where there's one monster, you can do that, but rather than like this number of hit points, it should be like 10 hit points per hero. So if there's 6 heroes, it'll have 60 hit points. And the attack, it'll do, it'll attack like once per hero, or it'll attack once for every 2 heroes. So that even though there's one monster, the difficulty scales depend like appropriately, right? So this level 6 monster for a group of 8 people is gonna it's not gonna be a challenge. It's just gonna sort of like be if I'm number 7 or number 8, the second to last or last hero to take my turn, like I probably won't even get a turn. Okay, hidden in a crevasse, the rattlesnake attacks the hero as they pass. So something like this is cool if it's hidden. If they fail the perception check or if they fail the naturecraft check, then they all start combat with 1 action, right? They fail initiative, or the snake goes first and then they get their turns, like that kind of thing. Like, so if they fail, this happens. If they succeed, then that happens, like that sort of thing. Stone circle, but anytime. So also for combat encounters, if we're having a combat encounter, it should be worth it for me to like to bust up my dice and roll initiative and like get all this stuff going. If it's a combat that's going to last like 1 round, it's not really worth me fighting, right? Because like there's lots of like, if I'm gonna go over to your house for dinner, like I sure hope it's better than a bologna sandwich, Got to put on my pants and drive all the way over to your house, that kind of stuff. Stone circle. Trail continues another. Okay, so again, more description that we don't need. Set in a cliff wall opposite is a circular black marble slab in the center. The expanse is too. So too much description. Like I'm reading this, but I'm not really visualizing it at all. All right, so there's a thing with a bowl on it, in the center. So let's get to the point. Okay, all right. So you're at this place where there's a bowl, and then there's the girl. Okay, and she got bit by the rattlesnake and has died from poisoning. Okay, so if she is already dead, like we definitely don't want to include a girl, like a small child, like an 8-year-old child. I've got an 8-year-old. Actually, so we definitely don't want to do that. So maybe like she's sick, or she's like she's twisted her ankle, or some other thing where the heroes can help. Right? They can talk to her. She can tell information. And like, why has she been here for so long? Why has she been here for so long? And not gone back home. Well, because she twisted her ankle, or she's stuck in something. But like, oh look, I found these berries, and like you help her, and she'll share some of her berries, or she can tell you a little bit about what she's learned about the Grimlocks or whatever. Like this is a great opportunity for you as a GM to like download some really cool information, to do some really cool things. Raid the Royal Nest does not have any travel encounters. Yeah, so it's definitely not like it's not a hard and fast rule, but there are things that happen along the way. That's the idea. So Raid on the Royal Nest. It's there's different things that you can do that happen because like the travel is like you're on the back of these griffins and like they're taking you away. So the creator's kit is definitely about. Let's actually go to the adventure framework. It's definitely about like this is what would typically happen, and you guidelines. And feel free to sort of break them as you deem fit. What if the adventure does not involve travel? Would you still include some form of travel encounters? So maybe it's not travel. So like maybe you're in Maryvale and there's a quest in Maryvale. Maybe the quote unquote travel encounters is like so it's the things that you need to do to get to where you can like do the quest. Like maybe it's like I need to talk to like here's 3 or 4 of the NPCs that I could talk to and gather some of the information that I need in order to do the thing. So it really depends. You can certainly change it up. But if it just doesn't make sense to have travel encounters because you're already there, then like yeah, you use your best judgment. But if you are going from town to some far off place to adventure, like it makes sense that some things would happen along the way, good or bad. And it gives the heroes like a chance to use their skills and explore and make choices and that kind of stuff. Okay, she was bitten by the rattlesnake. Yeah, I would definitely nix that. Collection right here is a wooden doll, a teddy with a fearsome face. Okay, again, if this matters, then I would say this, but I have a feeling that this is not information that's needed. What is it? Chekhov's gun, where like if you're reading a book and the writer describes a gun on the wall, like you better believe that gun is going to be used later. So don't include any information for me as a GM that isn't actually needed. Check out bowls. Okay, so we got some sort of puzzle here happening. Following objects can be placed. Okay, so with any kind of puzzle, generally it's best to have some way for the heroes to be able to figure out how to do it, or have a puzzle without any particular answer. And like as long as the heroes think through it in some logical way, and if it makes sense in world, then like whatever answer they come up with works, right? And maybe like if you put blood in the bowl, like the door opens, but like you lost a lot of blood, all right? But if you put something else in the bowl, then the door opens, but something else happens. So like the thing to continue the story happens, like when they come up with some reasonable answer, but maybe something else also happens depending on what their answer is. So I would be very careful. So I'm not going to read all of this right now, but like there's a lot of stuff happening here. Make sure that it's understandable and clear enough. Like give them a way to figure it out. For instance, in the adventure, I'm not going to keep going back to all the adventures for all of this, but I believe in the Garden of Death, we have like in this, like the very first one of the first rooms we have is this mural chamber where it gives you information that you might need for the next room, the Hall of Tombs. Like there's a similar type of motif where, like, you know, if you took the time to like explore and look around and do things, and you're rewarded in this next room with Chekhov's teddy bear. Yeah. So it's not just a guess, like, oh, there's this, you know, bowl, like what do I do with it? I have no idea, like, let's just guess. It's like, no, if you took the time, you could be rewarded with the information that you needed to sort of put the pieces together. Okay, block marble door in the center, large head, opening the door, place. Okay, so it looks like there's like a really super specific way to open a store. I would avoid that kind of thing unless, like, figuring out this entire thing, like, the puzzle has to be really tightly designed, like really, really nicely designed. Otherwise, I would definitely avoid. Like, all of this can feel really clever as you're writing the adventure, but if you're on the other side of it, like playing, like, I know there's some answer to this, but, like, man, I have no idea. Like, I didn't come to D&D night to play Sudoku, you know. I just want to, like, you know, smash some Grimlocks. So be super careful about this. They should be able to use their skills and their equipment and their things creatively to, like, overcome any of these problems. So maybe rethink this. Yeah. Okay. The tomb beyond the marble door is a circular chamber, 30 feet diameter. Okay, so again, like we don't need that. In the center of two. Okay, so the tomb. There's some skeletons inside, behind the two slabs. Okay, so you enter and you fight a thing. So maybe, like, before this fight, okay. So there's a lot of cool ideas that are set up in the very beginning, but there's no payoff. Okay, there's a lot of cool ideas, but no payoff. Um, so the king with his name and the corrupt and Hiset and Gavius and all this sort of stuff, like, none of that ever comes out. There's no revelation. There's no things that I can find out. There's no, like, information for me to discover. If we're setting all this stuff up, I want to talk to the white. I want to see, like, hey, why are you luring kids out into the wilderness to make them twist their ankle, and, like, is the white doing something with the Grimlocks, or is like why are you doing all the things you're doing, you spooky ghost? Like, oh, because, you know, Gravius did this thing X, Y, and Z. Like, so we're setting these things up, and we have to have the payoff, right? So think of it like a mystery. We're setting up a cool mystery, but we don't get any satisfaction. We set up a cool mystery, but then we have unrelated Grimlocks. We have a snake, which is cool. I think that could be a cool encounter. And then there's a puzzle, and then a fight. So it's a collection of cool ideas, but it needs to be made more cohesive. Each step should feel logical. Each thing should, like, bring us closer to, like, so, like, basically the what's going on. This is the stuff that the hero should figure out as they're adventuring, and I don't think they figure out any of this stuff. So this is just like, go kill the ghost quest. Right. So the yeah. So cool ideas needs a bit of cursed secret. Don't tell the heroes a hero. Okay. So here's the sword. The first person who picks up the sword will become possessed of it. They won't use any other weapon and won't ever let go of it. If functions in a longsword, there's no strength requirement to wield one-handed. In addition, the hero may, for action, choose to gain one wound in attack. Okay, so this is a cool idea. I would be very careful of, like, you definitely have to have buy-in from your players. Like, if the cheat goes up and picks it up, like, no, like, they may not want to use a longsword. Like, they want to use their daggers. So, like, be really, really careful about like, and this hero has to act this way. Be careful about that kind of thing. Cool idea, though. Like, it could just be this. Hero in the possession. Okay. So yeah, there has to be some way to figure some of these things out. There's jewelry. Okay. All right, cool. So not a bad start for knocking on death's door. All right, let's take a look at the next one. I'll check real quick for any questions, and if you guys want to repeat questions, if I missed them, please feel free. I think travel encounters can help bring an area to life. Yes, absolutely. And travel encounters are like give you a flavor of like what's it like to travel to the Great Forest, the Elder Wild. What's it like to travel in the desert? What's it like to do these things? Like, it should give you a flavor of all of that. Right. So travel encounter to the Skyreach Isles is going to feel very different than something in an Elder Wild. And the travel encounters also give you some of the backstory. It tells you the stakes. It tells you why you're doing what you're doing. It tells you here's the problems that's going on. It gives you like it gives the heroes some like hooks, some tools to work with. Right. You can learn all about the sewers and how they have history of X, Y, and Z, or the griffins, and why don't the griffins just fight the snakes off? Well, here's all your answers, because they're super spooky, you know. So yeah, so it's not just like it's not just like choices the players make. It gives you as the GM opportunities to do cool things, to feed them information. Evan's do first. Yep. Putting on pants is the worst. Edward, I'm doing pretty okay. All right, getting ready to work. All right, cool. You're planning on starting at the location? Okay, perhaps that would be cool. If you didn't come to play Sudoku, why are you playing on a grid? Nice. I want to ask, this is writing focus and avoids monster stats. Does that also include things like tables rolling, such as loot? Yeah, if you want to have, so in the creator's kit, there it is recommended to have. Okay, so read the adventure framework. So this is what I'm looking for. Emphasize tight writing, no extra stuff. Full sentences are neither necessary nor recommended. Prioritize brevity so the text be quickly scanned at a glance and repeated in the GM's own words rather than read like a script. Okay, cool evocative name. What really happened? Okay, this is for the GM to read beforehand. It should contain the secrets the heroes can discover as they play. Okay. Think of adventures as a mystery. What is that is solved as the heroes delve further into it. What is the mystery? What is the problem? How is it solved as we play? Okay, so the first one that we looked at had like some cool ideas, but none of that was really revealed. 3 adventure hooks. Some treasures, so 3 to 5 treasures, and it can be like very, very simple treasures. Like some amount of gold that's level appropriate, some simple things, a hat with a beak on it from the birds they made out of their own feathers, like, you know, it just some cool things. And then up here we go into items as well. All sorts of different kinds of like ways to think about items. So if you're wondering about that, like what kind of treasures, read that. Exploration events. So read this. Like I put a lot of time and effort into like sort of outlining some of these things. So make sure you guys read. Okay, Whispers in the Crypt. Okay, so quick glance at this. Let's just zoom in so you guys can see it. Whisper of the Crypt, Lord Valren was a man of legacy, reputation. All right, was everything. He wasn't kind, warm-hearted, stubborn. Okay, so this is reading like a novella, like and not an adventure. Her tomb was sealed. Okay, so some cool like fantasy types of things. He offers gold, it favors even enriched land. Okay, so this is cool. Offering land as a reward, like that's a cool, unique way to get people to invest in like maybe he offers like land in Farhope, like land in the city, or land in Maryvale, or something like that. And that can really get the players to invest in that location. Yeah, so for this one, I would definitely read the adventures that are currently in the GM guide, and read the adventure framework in the creator's kit. This is not an adventure. This is more. This is just like a short novel. So whoever made this one, keep cooking on it. Keep cooking on that one. Just a bit. Keep cooking on that one. Okay, Goblin Poachers. Here we go. Treacherous Dungeon for 4 to 5 level 5 characters. So it's not going to be like any number, so it could be any number of level 5 heroes. Okay, so all of the adventures should scale for, like, it's not you're not going to see 5 orcs on the other side of the door. You're going to see 1 orc per hero or 2 orcs per hero, like that kind of thing, so that no matter how many players I have at my table, I can run this adventure without changing anything, without putting any additional work. Okay, so Treacherous Dungeon for level 5 heroes. Treacherous Dungeon, you could punch it up a little bit. You could punch it up a little bit. So if we go back to the day you became a better writer, so like we're using the word drink when we could say swill, right? So we can use a little bit more evocative words. All right, so what's going on? Goblin poachers. I like that idea, goblin poachers. That is a very goblin thing. Have set up camp in the ancient ruins to the west of the Elderwild, near the Iceforge Mountains. Okay, cool. The mage Jurtan use the mini resource from the tower to arm these goblins with powerful magic, especially his protege Kazan, who has become a competent magician. The Fat Queen. Okay, I like this. I like some of this. Yeah. Okay, so a lot of that could be cut. Goblin poachers set up camp, and I would just say in the Brimble Crag foothills. So like it already has a name. Just go ahead and give it a name. They've set up camp. The goblin poachers, led by the Fat Queen, have set up camp in the foothills. She decides she no longer pays her dues to the mage, started on capturing the Fae. Okay, all right. So goblins are over here. They're doing things. A hunter in the Elderwild is worried about the recent absence of animals in the west. Offers to track adventurers to precious magical herbs if they find the reason for their disappearance. Offers to track. So that doesn't make sense. Offers to give the heroes like some magical herbs. Like they'll get they'll each get 1 healing potion if you do this quest. Like that kind of thing is fine. Silence while traveling through the forest. Eventually see goblins chase 2-headed bull. The bull floats midair. Okay, so that's weird. That's interesting. Like we might need to. It's like before we do something so crazy and like out of the normal. Okay, so like you don't want to have someone wearing 2 eye patches, right? Like he's a pirate and he's got an eye patch, and his other has an eye patch, and his parrot has an eye patch, and 2 peg legs. Like we want to be careful about that. So adventurers see goblins chasing a 2-headed bull. Already, like that's an eye patch. The bull floats midair. Eye patch on an eye patch. Helpless. Okay, we don't need that. Then the goblins shoot it and teleport it away. Okay, like eye patch. There's like 4 eye patches. So maybe we need to say like they're in a particular area of the forest that is like Fey-y or something. So it's not just like, coming out of nowhere, right? So be careful about this kind of stuff. It's like you're driving on the highway and you just like exit all of a sudden without signaling. It's jarring. So you signal first. Hey guys, we're going towards some like sort of silly Fey nonsense because you see fairies and different things and the trees are purple. Like, all right, now a 2-headed bull makes sense. But so if you're gonna have a 2-headed bull, like that should be the weird thing about it. If you're going to have it teleporting away when the goblins shoot it, that should be the weird thing. But like it shouldn't be 2-headed and floating and teleporting from goblins. Treason, the dew tithe from the goblins is reaching the tower no more. So this write that more clearly. Goblins refuse to pay the tower their tithe, or like the goblins something like less flowery language. Spell it like tell me what it is. The tower has imposed a tithe on the goblins. They refuse to pay. Okay, most of these are remind the fiends. So they're not fiends. So maybe the little scamps who sponsor their operation. Okay. So anytime a word is also a game term, you do have to be careful when using that. So like sometimes I want to use like the word vulnerable, but vulnerable is actually a term, a game term, a term of art. So we can't use that just in the sense that like this NPC was bearing her soul and she appeared vulnerable in that moment. You can't, like, you're going to communicate the wrong thing. So like, are these fiends or are they goblins? Adventure locations. Okay, so I definitely have some traveling locations first, and then so the entrance, so it should have like the description of the entrance should have like this many words rather than this many words. The massive entrance to what may have been some temple is guarded by 4 bulky goblins, so it should be 1 goblin per hero rather than some set number. Up the ladder. So entrance. What we should have in this is like the first thing that they see. All right. So let's go back to the creator's kit. Okay. Each room has a description. A few words of descriptive text, maximum of 1 sentence. So what do they immediately see, hear, or whatever? Smell. Give enough information for the heroes to start playing with, but no more. All right, you're at the entrance of this thing. You see 6 goblins, sort of milling about. What do you do? Okay. Then, as they explore the entrance, or as they ask questions, as they do things, then they can see maybe up the ladder. There's more goblins, and then there's a brazier, and there's other things. But the entrance should be massive entrance, um, huge, like ancient ruined temple. Goblins are there. Keep it short. You could keep it even shorter than that. And then like up the ladder and all this sort of stuff. Those are first bullet points. Like give me a perception check. You can see the goblins that are up the ladder. Give me a this. You can do that. Like give them just a little bit, and then let the players like involve themselves. Daniel, hey, the Vat Queen. David High School. Oh man, brutal. Oversized temple stairs, force goblins to build rickety ladders and ramps. Okay, so this is I like this. I like this. Okay, so the temple stairs. So maybe the temple stairs are broken. It's hard to scramble up it, or the stairs are like made for giants, and each one is like 10 feet tall. Like so there's like ladders and stuff. What does it mean that they're rickety? If any more than like 2 creatures are on them at a time, they break and you fall. Do you have to like make some sort of check to do this or that? Like tell me what happens if I do I need to climb up them? If I do, what happens when I do? Can like if the goblins are fighting from the ladders, can I chop the ladder and break it and the goblins fall? Like what can I do with that? It's a cool start of an idea, but it needs to be fleshed out a little bit. Bushes could be used for hiding. We don't need to say that. Step on a dry branch, you'll be hurt. Okay, so instead of this, it could be like stealth check, 10 or less. You step on a twig, like you alert the goblins to your presence. Something like that. Like give the like spell out exactly what the GM can do with the bushes. Like when the GM says bushes, like the players know immediately, okay, I can hide behind those. But what does it mean if they attempt to hide behind them? All right, give me a stealth check, less than 10. Rather than hiding, you've alerted the goblins to your presence. The guards are bored. Okay, so this is good. So this should be up here. Okay, big entrance, 4 bored-looking goblins, half asleep, whatever. Because that's something that you would see right away. Or maybe it's like, give me an insight check. You can tell that they're bored. Like the one goblin, and if it's goblins, like you can feel free to be a little bit silly because they're silly old creatures. One goblin has painted eyeballs on the outside of his eyelids. He looks like he was alert, but he's actually sleeping and he's not standing up. His goblin friends have him propped up with sticks. So like at first glance they look like they're alert, but if you make a perception check like 12 or higher or whatever, like actually that goblin has drool coming out of his mouth, and on second glance he has crudely painted eyeballs on his eyelids. He's sleeping. Like that kind of thing is like a cool thing for them to figure out. A funny moment, like let the GM and the players like have that moment between themselves, right? Listening for a bit may give you clues as to how you convince them to let you in. Okay, what clues specifically? Like, don't make me fill that in. Boy, I sure am hungry. I sure could go for berries that are in these bushes, over here, whatever. Like, let me as the GM, like, do the work for me. If you're writing the adventure, don't make me come up with like the lines that I'm supposed to think of. The purple mist is an alarm system. Okay, I didn't even read purple mist. Goblins. Upside down brazier from which purple mist falls, covering the whole entrance. Okay, yeah, we've got a lot going on here. I think we have too much. We have too much going on here, and clarity is lacking just a bit. If anything magical goes through the bell, will ring very noisy sea tavern. What? Okay, so this is very confusing to me. Why? So as a hero, if I like walk through the purple mist, I might expect to be poisoned, or it could blind me. Like it's like a fog. Like I would expect certain things. But if the goblins are near the purple mist, then I would think like, well, it's probably not poisonous, and it's probably not this. So it would just lead me to believe like weird things, but nothing would make me think that if I do something with the purple mist, it'll make a bell ring. So it has to make sense. Like if you see a tripwire, if you see like a wire going and it like goes off to somewhere, um, that makes sense. Like, oh, I don't know where that goes. That could alert someone. Like, it's not going to any obvious trap nearby. The wire near the entrance like goes off into the tunnel. It would make like I would immediately assume like, okay, that's probably a trap. It's going to alert the people out there that there's something out here or in there that's something. So, but purple mist as a magical alarm system doesn't really make sense. Goblins doing magical stuff doesn't make sense. We need to clarify. So if we want to stay in this sort of magically type of thing, like fae type of stuff, then like rather than goblins, maybe it's like some other creatures, some fae creatures who can do these magical things. If it's goblins, do traps, do silly stuff, do all that kind of stuff. And it makes sense that they would, this oversized temple, they would build like these rickety ladders and things. Okay, kitchen, meat, cooking or not, everywhere, many flies. All right, so there we go. So this is a much more appropriate, like name and description. In like, you might even say like slop kitchen to give the GM like a flavor of like, all right, what kind of kitchen is it? Slop kitchen, meat everywhere, many flies. So we could just leave cooking or not out. Slop kitchen, meat everywhere, many flies. Like perfect. The cook is chopping and humming, enormous for a goblin. He is not always holding the knife. It chops by itself. Okay, so that's cool, but it doesn't feel very goblin-y. Or the meat, it flies magically. He lights fires with his mind. Adventurers who come in peacefully are tolerated, though meat may be thrown at them a bit. Okay, so most players, if they've fought the goblins already and the goblins are already doing bad things, they see a goblin, his back is turned to them. All right, let's start blasting, right? Then I started blasting. So they're going to do that. Give me some reason to think, give the heroes some way to know that they could enter peacefully and like they can talk with this guy and do different things. Right. He's humming a jovial tune. Like it does say he's humming, but like give some reason for people to think that this isn't just like an ambush combat. This could be something else. Like it's like we have something similar in the Garden of Death where it's like it's a grumpy goblin and he's mumbling that how he hates the rest of these goblins, that kind of thing. So like, oh, maybe we could talk to him and he can help us because he doesn't like these guys that we don't like, right? 10 kitchen hands are hiding below the meat nearby. What? They summon dense smoke, which may smoke the meats. I don't know what this is. So I assume kitchen hands were like other goblins who are assisting, but they're below the meat. That does make sense. This chimney has a very, very, very hot fire. An entire cow could fit in there. So is it very hot or very big? And again, if we go back here, so like get rid of extra words. Don't write he was very happy. He just write he was happy. Right. So you could just say hot in all caps. Hot fire. Or you're like you're sweating from 20 feet away. Like something like we don't need to say very, 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 very. Entire calculus. So is it big or is it hot? So we could probably redo this. Okay, so what happens in the kitchen, right? So there isn't like, well, what can I do here if we come in peacefully? Like, what does it mean when we like? Why would I want to come in peacefully? Like, why would I risk this guy being peaceful rather than aggressive if I could just kill him? Right. Well, if I come in peacefully, if I'm not immediately murder hobo, well, then I'm rewarded with information or whatever, right? Isn't this adventure in the Feywild? I don't know. I don't think so. It's just in some ruins. Yeah. Okay. So like the cool stuff, whatever we have in the what's going on, we should be able to learn those things as we're doing this. Okay, so like, um, maybe like on an insight check or some other check, or maybe the cook is like mumbling something to himself, like he's humming or he's repeating over and over again, like the fat queen must eat, the fat queen needs her meat, like something like that. So that we know, oh, we're hinting at something, we're getting information, like we're listening, we're being more thoughtful, and like the adventure makes sense. Like it can't just be like a thing. Okay, here's some stats. So like a goblin having telekinesis and all this doesn't really make sense. Okay, tavern. The bell rang. The furniture was formed barricaded in the room. Goblins in line. Okay, and again, 12 full body shield goblins. It should just be like some number of like some number of goblins per hero again. Big fat killing killer is being loaded. What? The big fat killing killer can fire at 1/2 the room each turn. Yeah. So yeah, be real careful about that kind of thing. So like if you want to do like a cool like trap with a stat block, then it needs to be accounted for in the encounter balance. It's like if you've already got like 12 of this and 7 of that and like this monster, that monster, and a thing, like, well then it's gonna make like the encounter like super extra deadly already. So be super careful about that. The barn and craft may be necessary to stop the animals from making noise. Yeah, so yeah, give us a little bit extra things that can happen in the barn, like why would I go to the barn? How do I get to the barn? What do I get out of it? That kind of thing. All right, so each location should have a description, so like the intro thing, and then 2 or 3 additional things to interact with, accomplish, learn, or whatever. Okay, they contain their bullet points to answer the questions that the players ask. So, what questions are my players going to ask about the barn? Okay, what can I do? What's here? All that sort of stuff. So what can happen in a room? Maybe the barn has a trap or an obstacle or a problem. Maybe one of the cows is like something. One of the cows is not really a cow. It's just some other like fake creature. It's begging, please release me. Maybe it's a horse. Um, do they get information about the Fat Queen? Is there a common encounter? Are there other NPCs to fight with or talk to or whatever? They can buy things from or negotiate with or rescue or ally or bamboozle, or they're from another region and they can give you another quest, or they've been kidnapped and ransomed. Is there a dilemma? If you go this way to the barn, then you can't go that way. Like there should be there like so all of this. It should have some of these things here, right? It should have some of these things here. And again, the what really happened in the adventure background should be some sort of interesting mystery type of thing. That the heroes can uncover. Like, so the reward for doing this adventure is you get more XP and all that, and you do a good deed, and the story progresses. But what do I learn about it? Like, if you're watching CSI, if you're watching some other thing, it's a mystery and it's unfolding, or any show, like you're watching it and you're rewarded with information on like what's going on and what the problems are and how to solve it and that sort of thing. What if everything is weird and you have one normal thing? Yeah. I found out the hard way that moderation is key, though, having mostly common on-theme things and one weird things. Yep. Confused. Yeah. Okay. The bunk room where goblins sleep. So it's not what do we do here, it's like what do we see immediately? What do we see? Like what do we see and what can we like so whatever whatever information we have here should be enough information for the heroes to say, okay, well, can I do this? Can I do that? What about this? What about that? Right? This should be enough information to let the heroes do something with. Yeah, so they're like the bunk room smells of sweat and there's a loud snoring sound. All right, you come in. Can I see what is making the sound? Okay, well then we start figuring out some of these things. Each of the like ramshackle beds has a trunk at the foot of it, or something. I don't know. Okay, ooh, I wanna see what's in the trunks, and all the trunks are trapped with all these different things with bells and this and that. Okay, so that's a really cool dilemma all of a sudden. If you open the trunk, then you risk waking the thing. But if you don't wake the thing, then you can't get the stuff inside the trunk, right? So like it's an interesting dilemma. Like we can play it safe and not wake up the big scary thing, but we have to spell it out. We have to spell it out. Like this isn't quite enough information, but it's a good start. The study filled with weird potion scrolls and snails. Again, what can we do in the study? Where can I poke around more? Kazan studies here. Who's Kazan? Oh, okay. The guy from the tower. Hated by the queen, may be convinced to help the adventurers finding the emotions from the voice spaces. Fire elemental. Okay. Yeah, so don't worry too much about the monsters. I can largely do that, but like it's not bad. Okay. So like Kazan is an illusionist, I guess, which is pretty cool. D4. Chicken can't attack, can't move. Okay. Yeah, they're okay. So this is a good collection of ideas, but it needs, we need to connect them a little bit more. Like how would I as a GM, like if I had no other information, if all I had was this, like is this enough for me to run this adventure yet? No, not quite. We need to sort of pull the ideas together. I thought Kazan, hated by the queen, the throne room. Why is he a prisoner? So like I guess I don't know what's going on. Like why is, if Kazan is here and then the queen is here? So there's just a lot of questions. The whole thing doesn't make sense. Okay, so some cool ideas. I like the idea of like these like oversized temple stairs, like adventuring in a space that is like not made for you. Like that's a really cool idea. The kitchen, like the fat queen is a cool idea. The goblins not paying some tithe is a cool idea. So like some cool ideas, but it needs a little bit more work there. Okay. A Croak in the Cosmos by John Dan. Oh, okay, yeah. John helped me with some of the layout and design on the books. with the cards in particular, the spell cards. Okay, Mysterious Mound. Okay, so not too long. The party wakes from their slumber. The camp, completely ordinary the night before, it now finds itself circled in a gelatinous mound of lumps where the campfire once was. Without any thorough investigation, the mound could be described like cannonballs stacked on a deck. Several head-sized orbs of thick jelly wobble in the wind, each constituting of greater outer membranes. Okay. All right, so this so it's a cool idea. So a quest that the heroes find themselves in rather than one that they like seek out and are assigned and they accept. Like that's cool. Like it's a situation. But it's a bit disorienting. Disorienting. I would like to start off with a like give me a cool name. So what's the name here? A Croak in the Cosmos. That's a cool name. That's a cool name. But like tell me what's happening first, so I as a GM can orient myself to it, right? So let's grab one of these. All right, so this is a Mouse Ritter adventure. So this is like one of the Mouse Ritter adventures. On the back of it, let's go here. The Mouse Ritter adventure. On the back of it, ooh, there's the Nimble box. Look how pretty that is. On the back of it, this is sort of like the what's going on type of things. Like that's the pitch. It's the pitch for the GM to like, why should I run it? Like do I want a weird sun adventure about frogs and things? Maybe not. All right, so here's one. Tower of Soot. A most important mouse was captured by a young human, and rumors have it, stuck in a cage like a hamster. Like a hamster! Brave mice are needed to break the captive out, and they must act quick, for the humans are packing up for the holiday, preparing to take the captive with them. The mice must venture into the big bedroom, then escape through the only exit, the chimney. Beware the smoky fire that is about to go up in flames. So like that's a really cool adventure, and like this whole adventure is actually, I think, the other way. So like this is like a vertical adventure, which is pretty neat, pretty neat. So like that's the pitch. So, okay, so what's going on? What's the pitch, right? So that's more like a sales thing for the GM. Like start with that. Like, why should I run this? Like, why do I want to do this adventure? Because this is the kind of thing that you're going to do. Okay, so John, a little bit disorienting, and give me like very much shorter descriptions so that I can like scan it and sort of describe it in like a really weird way rather than like so much. This is a successful nature craft. We don't need this. We'll just nature craft track. Or difficult. Okay, the player can identify the mound succinctly as they're tadpole legs, incredibly large tadpole legs. So that's cool. Okay. Upon any player successful perception check, the party will notice a small, sparse bunches of similar orbs scattered around the perimeter. Okay, so what if nobody asks to make a perception check? Does the adventure not continue? What if we get a 3, a 2, and a 7? Does the adventure not continue? So it should be like give the players like whether or not they succeed on this, whether or not they can tell that it is, they just see there's a bunch of these scattered around. Okay, all around. But if it's supposed to be pretty obvious, there's no roll involved. It should be in order to roll, it should be like you should be not sure. It's like dangerous. Something. There's like a few different reasons why you would roll for something. If it's not dangerous, or if you're not sure of the outcome, or dangerous, difficult, and something else. If it's not one of those, that this is not dangerous, this is not difficult, it's obvious, then it is not a DC. Okay. You look around and you see this and that. But rather than just saying like, okay, you guys wake up and you look and you see this, and then you look around some more and you see this, that you should give them a prompt to where they would want to say like, well, can I make can I look around and see what else I see? Can I make a perception check, like that kind of thing? So where the fireplace is like, looks like a big stack of like gluey, like round, like cantaloupe size, like yucky things. Like what? Like what in the world? And then all around you hear the croaking of a frog. Like give them some like reason, like give them something to work with, However, should the players fail, play into it and have the party walk around and get one member. So you can't just have the party walk around and get one member to trip on a pile and take a couple of points of bludgeoning damage. You can have all the heroes make a dex save, and whoever gets the lowest falls down. So you can do that, but like the players have their heroes walk around and do different things. So the GM doesn't do that. But the GM can call for a dex check or whatever. So we need to be careful that we're setting up a playground for the GM and the heroes to play in. We're not playing for the GM and the heroes, right? So here's some cool toys to play with, not like here's how you must play with these toys. Okay. Cool ideas, though. Cool ideas. Before the party can dwell on discovery much longer, the pattering of something approaching transitions in the background. Okay, yeah. So overly narrative. Their cries are rather garbled. Okay. Could make out a half dozen garden gnomes are heading a beeline to the party's camp like a kinder cavalry. There are small dogs serving as ponies. It's like cute, super cute idea. They're riding on small dogs, like wiener dogs or so. Like they're riding on small dogs serving as ponies. So and we don't need to say for people so small. Like so, a lot of this could be trimmed up and cut. But I'm really digging the idea. It's like a super weird idea. They have the eggs. They're with the enemy. charge these monsters. Common ensues. Maybe it does. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe they say, whoa, 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 whoa. We don't want to fight like little kids on puppies, right? Like maybe combat doesn't ensue. Like what happens if they want to talk before combat ensues? Gnome cavalry. Okay. Okay, so yeah, make sure we're not like railroading the GM and the heroes. Like we need to present opportunities. So dropping them in the middle of a situation, you wake up and where your campfire was is like a pile of giant toad eggs, and you hear like this weird rumbling sound. Like they can like look around and figure things out, and then the rumbling sound gets louder, and now these gnomes come up and they like accuse them of this or that. Okay, that is a really cool like unique way to start an adventure. Okay, it's a really cool way to start an adventure. So like maybe one gnome says they're with the enemy, like hinting at some enemy, and then another one says like, hang on, let's hear them out. Right. And then like give me 2 bullet points, 3 bullet points of like what the gnomes know, why, what the enemy, like, because the players hear the gnomes saying enemy and like, wait, we're not with the enemy. I don't even know what you're talking about. Like, who are you? What are we doing? Like, we just woke up here. So they're gonna want to discuss like what's going on. It can't be so suddenly into combat, especially like if they were like horrible grizzled orcs riding on like bloody wargs and like all this, like, all right, right into combat, we're not going to talk to those guys. Or like slug people. But if they're like cute little gnomes like riding on dogs as ponies, like, no, people are going to want to talk to them, at least a good percentage of the time. Okay. Following the trail. Okay, so what trail? Why are they following it? What else could the heroes do? Okay, the party stumbles upon a small settlement. So is this assuming that the gnomes like I don't know what's going on here. Okay, more mysterious hamlet. Okay, seemingly unsullied by an entirely void of eggs, they upon any active int skill check, or if a player has +2 or above perception, the stagnancy would be noticed beyond just the lack of jelly spheres. So John, I would recommend taking a look at some of the adventures that are in here, just to sort of like grok a little bit better, like what an adventure looks like. So you've got some really cool ideas of encounters and things that could potentially happen, but it's not likely to happen just exactly the way that you're like laying it out, right? So look at the cadence of the adventures that we have. Okay, so like you're in a hamlet. Surprisingly, no eggs. Okay, so that might be enough for me to like start doing stuff. They might need a little bit more than that, and then like put 3 bullet points of like different things we can learn in this hamlet. Okay. Should a player have collected any eggs before the illusion their eggs suddenly illuminate, getting bright? Okay, so there's a lot of things where like the players have to do exactly X for this adventure to work, right? Or for it to make the most sense. But what if they don't think to make an int skill check, or what if they don't have a +2 perception, or what if they didn't pick up any of the eggs? What if they don't even want to touch any of the eggs? What if they burned all the eggs, right? It has to work regardless of what they do, at least reasonably so. Like if the adventure's this way and they go the opposite way, all right, well then it doesn't work. But if the the adventure's this way and they like broadly are engaging with the adventure, like whatever they do should work. Getting brighter, brighter, hotter, hotter. Eventually scalding enemy and holding the scalding. Yeah, we could just say scalding, like they drop it before they take damage. If kept in backpacks or other carries, they melt, burn through the packaging, fall to the ground. Player brings 1 egg per player starts hatching. Okay. Okay, we're describing, we're telling too much of a story. There's too much of a novel and not enough of an adventure. Really cool ideas though. Tadpoles seem to be imprinted on a party member. They waddle along quietly with no argument. All right, so there's a lot going on. And I don't know if I would give every party member a tadpole. Maybe just one. Because like if everybody has one, like someone's gonna say, "Oh, I like mine," and the other's gonna say, "I don't like it. Like I don't want it to follow me anymore." But if there's like one, and there's gonna be like that one person at your table is like, "Ooh, can I have him?" And then like, yeah, he looks to you and he's wagging his little tail. He says, "Mama," something like that. And like, all right, now I got a pet. Um, warrior. Okay, so, what all is supposed to happen in this page of text? I'm not sure. Like, what choices are the players supposed able to make in this page of text? I don't know. Like, what could I as a GM do other than read this to the players as they sit there? I don't know. Again, really cool ideas. I hope it's not coming across as too harsh. Really cool ideas, but it's not. It's in like more of a novel format rather than an adventure format. As ring subsides, the party finds themselves no longer corporeal, as if plucked from the ground. Ringing. All right. So we do have a bit of like eye patch on eye patch type of thing going on. So in this adventure, okay, so the problem in this adventure is there's this big cosmic frog and he got here somehow, and he's causing trouble and we need to get rid of him, right? Okay, so that is the thing. So what we want the players to figure out, how did it get here? How do we get rid of it? And maybe like one other thing. Okay. What is it? That kind of thing. So, why do they want to get rid of it? Could they just leave? Well, okay, well maybe the gnomes asked them to get rid of it. Okay, so now there's a reason to get rid of it because it's destroying their hamlet. Like it has to make a logical sense, like what's going on and why, like what the problem is and why we need to solve it. And it's okay if they need to figure out what the nature of the problem and how to solve it. That's part of the adventure. But there has to be the GM says this, the GM gives these options. Here's your menu of 2 things, your menu of 3 things, what do you do? Or here's the situation, what do you do? And the players can do something. And then if the players do A or B, the GM needs to know what to do next. Right? So here's the gnomes riding up on their little pony dogs. They accuse you of being the enemy. The heroes are going to say, well, we're not the enemy. What are you talking about? What do I say as the GM? Right? So I'm lacking that right now. So if getting rid of the cosmic frog is not a combat thing, it's more of like a social thing. Like, let's spell it out. Let's take a look. Endings: kill the frog, get the frog to leave, keep the frog as a patron, get superpowers. Probably not that, but I do like having a combat option or a like some sort of creative option. I think that's a cool idea. I would definitely keep both of those. Lexical interjection: whenever frog is targeted by spell ability, start with the key letter that croak it aloud. That might be a little bit too wonky. Psychic dart: roll a die on the character's target's character sheet. Choose a word closest to where the die landed. The frog croaks the words. So this, there might be something cool about this, but like maybe it's this. Like maybe the frog loves to attack the character with the longest name the most. Right? Like something like that. Where the frog has 2 attacks. This attack, he always attacks the character with their longest name, and then this attack, he does this. Like some cool, weird lexical thing that I, as a GM, I'm not having to play like another mini game in order to play the game. Because like, what if every time it lands on S and like like S doesn't work or something? Like, the failure state, like the worst case scenario or the worst reasonable case, like it still has to be like a pretty fun adventure. Sneaky syllables: players shouldn't be informed about the key letter immediately. Allow the loud croaking is meant to give the players. Yeah, worldwide wording. Adventure is written with English mind. Yeah, croak and hanyu pinuton. Yeah, so. It's cool. It's a cool concept. Let's refine it a little bit to where it doesn't like, all right, everybody, we're playing D&D, and then all of a sudden, like, we're getting out like, yeah, we're now playing Yahtzee rules, or we're playing Monopoly, or we're playing Sudoku, or we're playing dominoes. Like, we came to play D&D. Like, we want to use our characters and our abilities and our skills and the things that we already know how to use. I don't want to have to learn like some new mini game. Like the tactics of a monster can like change up the strategies and goals and the best route forward. That's great. That's part of the game. But like these unexpected weird things with words. I'd be careful about that. So like you could totally do like this monster likes to attack the hero that looks the strongest because he's like an alpha. He's whatever. This monster's a bully. He always attacks the smallest hero. This is a weird word frog, and he attacks the guy who has the longest name. Cool. Or the one who spoke the most. Like, but even that, like you don't want to do any kind of weird things like that. Or like if they're going to attack the person with the longest name, maybe it's like, and players can trade names or change name. Like you could do cool stuff like that, but it has to be obvious. Like the gnomes have to say, and he always attacks the guy with the longest name so that they're in on the joke. Like because John wrote this, because you wrote this, you sort of get the joke. You get what's going on. To your players, like they're not going to understand what's going on. Like they're going to be completely lost in the dark. So if you have this cool backstory with all these like well thought out things, like different NPCs and places, and you know, they will get half of that, 20% of it. They're gonna understand 20%. They're thinking about their characters. They're thinking about all the cool things that they can do, their goals that they want to make, or like how like they had a rough day at work and they just want to like kill some frogs or whatever. That's what they're thinking about. They're not thinking about like the clever, you know, mechanics. So I would take a step back from this. Cosmic frog, weird shenanigans happening. It does weird things. Flipping things on the head is really cool. It's like maybe like a 1 is a crit and rolling the max is a miss. Like, all right, that's neat. Like, so now rolling with disadvantage is like a really, really good thing. Right? So you can do fun stuff, weird stuff like that, but it has to be really easy to understand. Okay? And it has to be super duper clear. So there's a lot of cool ideas. I love the idea of okay, so the let me just back up. The gnomes, the players waking up. Let me back up a little bit. So starting it in media res, so like in the middle of things, in the middle of action, is a really good adventure thing. So I would either, but we don't want to confuse the heroes. They need a way to figure out pretty quickly what's going on. Okay, so like it's interesting to be given a mystery, a riddle, or something, and then watch it unfold and see yourself making progress toward uncovering it. But like if this weird thing just sort of like suddenly happens, like you wake up and there's eggs on your fire, like it's not as much cool as just like sort of weird and wacky. So I do like the idea of the gnomes riding up to the heroes and like accusing them of something and like it being this misunderstanding. And that's how the quest starts. That's really cool. And then the quest is like you go to the village and you have to figure out how to get this frog out. Right. That's a cool idea. Like, all right, we'll try by attacking it. Well, attacking it like has some weird other effect that gives the heroes pause. Maybe attacking it isn't the right way because the gnomes would have tried that. Right. So like that there's something here, but it's a little bit too much novel, not enough adventure. All right, so that's feedback. I hope you take that well. That's the way that it's intended, as positive, constructive. Okay, review sessions like this is really helpful. Yeah, if people were here haven't seen it, there's a Threaded Design Jam channel where people can help. Yeah. Evan's going to make us all great designers. Oh, I hope so. Thank you, Angela. Design Jam channel. Yep. I was second guessing myself when designing my own venture. Cool. Right on. All right, so we got a couple more that we're going to look at. Title Open Season. Title could be a little bit stronger. Level 7, level 3 adventure for 2 to 7 heroes. So you just say a level 3 adventure for an adventure where the prey becomes the hunter for level 3 heroes. So something like that. We don't need to say 2 to 7 heroes. We really. I think we said that in the in the initial adventure, just because it's like for new GMs. Let me see. Do we see that? For two or more heroes. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. For the past weeks, some of Farmer Bartholomew's livestock. Yeah, so this is like, again, names, cool, readable name. Yeah, and then like one of the players is gonna say, "Hey, Bart, Farmer Bart." But it's like it's familiar enough, but fantasy enough. It's not like Azimithric kind of tracks, right? It's not that, but it's not Joe. It's Bartholomew, and I can say it without having to pronounce it slowly. There's not much more embarrassing than like trying to like you're in the moment and you're trying to pronounce this dramatic thing, the name in some dramatic way, and you're like, and you can't pronounce it, and then the players all see you reading. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, that's another name for like some antibiotic. Been taken by the legendary Albert Grimbeak the Unyielding. Now a child was taken as well. Again, be careful with children. Grimbeak used to hunt around her cave in the forest, but recent wildfires set by orcs trying to claim the cave for themselves drove prey away and brought scarcity to the region. Bartholomew offered 50 gold pieces to have the problem solved. Okay. So I wouldn't say 50 gold pieces. It would be like X, some amount of gold per hero. Because like 50 gold pieces when there's 2 heroes, that's 25 gold a piece. If there's 5 heroes, that's like less than half the reward. Like it's much less rewarding. So the reward should be like, just like the monsters, like per hero. Okay, we can tighten this up a little bit, but it's clear. Like it's clear. It's got a cool thing that not too many like actual like proper names, proper nouns. There's this farmer, and owlbear came because orcs. Yeah, that makes sense. We could streamline it. We could, add a little pizzazz, but I understand it, and that's a lot. That's a big part of it. A hero might be a relative of Bartholomew who asks for help. Okay. Bartholomew has posted a task on Notes That's cool. That's a good way. Rumor says that Philip, a town child, went to the horse plane to return. Oh, okay. So this child is Philip, or is it? It's not 2 children, right? I don't like this one. I don't like that one. It could be like I would prefer like Philip, like little boy Philip went into the woods and heard some like mean growling, and he ran away, and he saw like this enormous thing with red eyes or whatever, and like and he ran away, but nobody in that town believes him, but you believe me, don't you? Like that kind of thing. That kind of thing might be a little bit more interesting. Exploration. On your way to the farm, you notice worried villagers. So if you say that, okay. So exploration on the way to the farm, you know, some worried villagers. Bartholomew welcomes the heroes kindly. Okay, so what can the heroes do with this? So one, they might stop. Oh, I want to stop and ask one of the villagers what's going on. So if you say this, then perhaps they could like those villagers could tell this information too. But if you say this, there's 50% chance roughly that some of the heroes are going to say, all right, well, let's stop. Let's ask them what they're worried about, right? So then you're going to need like the name of these NPCs, these villagers. They're going to like ask questions, and like it might be a little bit awkward. Like so the purpose for both, you might be obviating or circumventing the purpose for the farmer Bart. Animals been disappearing. He knows what everybody else knows. The child in the forest close to sundown to play. Everybody knows not to enter the forest when the sun's going down. 2 weeks ago, he saw smoke from the forest. Okay, so orcs are where is it? Recent wildfires set by the orcs. Okay, so so if there were wildfires, so we need to make sure everything is internally consistent. If there's wildfires being set by the orcs, like for the past month, everywhere in the town has been hazy and smoky and like coughing. Like it's too far away for them to see the fires, but like there's something happening in the woods, right? So if it's gonna be wildfires set by orcs, it's not gonna be like 2 weeks ago they saw smoke from the forest. That would be like a campfire. He admits to hearing beating of wings like a dragon. Okay, so there should be a DC 12 influence check. So there should be there should be some prompt for the GM to tell the heroes that Farmer Bart has some information that he's not sharing. Okay, why would he not share this information that is pertinent? Well, because he's embarrassed. So it makes sense that he would not. It makes sense that he would not want to say, "I was too afraid to look out the window, but I did hear something." So that is cool, but we need to communicate to the heroes that he says that's it, but the look in his eyes is telling you there's something else. Okay. Investigation, naturecraft, gray feather, or examination check, gray feather and paw prints of a large bear. Point toward the forest. That might be a little bit too on the nose again. If we're trying to create a little bit of mystery, like, ooh, it sounded like a dragon, like, oh, we're level 3, we're not ready to be fighting dragons, then it might just be like large claw marks and a bloody feather, a bloody feather, like ooh, that's a little bit spookier. So it would be either or. If you see a gray feather, ooh, it looks like it could be from an owl, and a large bear print, like, it's an owl bear. Hey guys, we're about to find an owl bear. Like, all the mystery is sucked out of the room. So if you're trying to keep the mystery going, then yeah, maybe we can do this. And like on a DC, like DC 18, DC 20, like naturecraft check, yeah, there's an owl bear. Twice, so you, when like in a scary movie, like when they show the monster, like if the monster is like revealed, like it's sort of like it lets the tension out of the room. So if they just roll incredibly well in the naturecraft check, like you just have to tell them they know exactly what this paw print is. It should be like you should give them something to like maintain the but still, oh no, like it's an owl bear. Oh, okay, it's an owl bear, but like no, it's it's twice as large as like any owl bear print you've ever seen, or like by how deeply it's in the sand. Like this thing has to weigh 20,000 pounds, whatever. Tracks fade near the forest to continue. Makes 3 skill checks. They choose which hero to make each. Okay. Take note of this value. Something suggests this will be one. Okay. You step into green dense forest. Step into green dense forest. The canopy above blocks most of the sunlight. First, check DC 15 Naturecraft. Blood trails and wooden toy sword. Okay. Okay. So we're going. All right. You guys are heading to the woods. I need somebody to make me a naturecraft check. All right. So they roll. Let's just go ahead and roll. Ooh, I got a natural 20. I actually did. Okay, so you see a trail of blood and a wooden toy sword. Gradually, the lush vegetation becomes dry. A still smoldering ember from a recent fire is stirred by a sudden gust of wind, reigniting a fast-spreading fire. Second check, DC. All right, somebody give me a DC 15 might check to guide the party out of the flames. So it does make sense why a might check would help them guide out of the flames. And 2d10 fire damage, that could be 20 damage. That could be like all of the hit points of a level 3 party. So that's too much. So, all right. So this is a cool idea. I like where you're going, but let's think about it a little bit, like how it's going to play out at the table. So you step into a green dense forest canopy. Okay. Someone give. So you say like, whoever's navigating, give me a naturecraft check. All right. And on a success, they see this. On a failure, what? Okay. So on a success, you see this, you know exactly which way to go. Like you're confident that this is the way to go. On a failure, you get turned around, something, X, Y, Z, but it doesn't stop you. You're able to like pick up, so help me out a little bit about what to do. Okay. They might want to interact with the blood or the toy sword. They might have some questions and work with this before just going to the next thing. Okay, the second check. Maybe instead of might, maybe it could be a perception or naturecraft or some examination, something else to where maybe can they sense the faint acrid smell of this ember before it ignites, right? So if they sense it, they can like stamp it out or figure out how to put the fire out before it kindles up into like a bigger fire. Okay, then they succeed. If they fail, the fire, kindles up all of a sudden, something, 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 and they take a little bit of damage. Not 2d10. It should be a little bit more predictable, like 2d4, 3d4, something like that. 2d4. Yeah, that probably sounds more appropriate. Yeah. I think I will really need to help reduce my words. Okay. Second check. Okay. The area. So you guys are traveling through the forest for a good bit longer, and then you come to. So it needs a little bit more connective tissue. Like after traveling for a few hours or a day or whatever, you come to the forest opens up to a barren gray, like wasteland, burned, devastated, burned to ashes, right? So you don't write all of that, but you write 4 or 5 words that conveys that to where when I read that as a GM, I can explain what you guys see. Okay. Third check, DC 15 perception, trinkets and remains of torches along a trail. Okay, yeah. Yeah, some check to determine, maybe a lore check to determine that. All right, orcish. All right, so so we've got an owlbear and we've got orcs as the bad guys. Determine the time of day as party arrives. 0 successes early evening, 1 or 2 successes late afternoon, 3 successes mid afternoon. You come upon a rocky cliffside with a wide cave. Okay, so so out of all of them, this one is probably the closest to like an actual adventure that like I'd be able to run with a bit of work. You had to cut a lot of those connective text. Yeah, so it's I'm not saying that we need to add like all of those words, but we can add like just a few words to sort of get across to get across the ideas. Mule corral, 6 mules, 1 dead, obviously malnourished. So this would be ashen clearing, like the name could be ashen clearing, gray, burned gray wasteland. Okay, and then like the first bullet point, perception check, DC 12, whatever. You see orcish trinkets, blah 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 blah. The next bullet point, you look around, you find something else. So like that is so. All of the ideas that we have are sort of compressed down into this one little nugget that takes up like just the tiniest bit of space. All right. Grimbig's cave, rocky walls, orc quarters. You come upon a rocky cliffside with a wide cave entrance. If the party searches around to find a small sized hole leading to the well room, Grimbig's cave. So what does the time do for anything? Yeah. Yeah, so it might need some like actual content trimming, or it could be like a 2-shot. And if it's a 2-shot, that's fine. Like like if one the bad guy is the orcs and the other one and the bad guy is the owl bear, that could be 2 adventures. We don't need to like cram too much into one. So like if we go to this, so like 6 to 10 rooms, and a room is like this is one. Like the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Like so 7 rooms. Like that, that's it. And that's like, if this was like paragraphs, it'd be like 2 paragraphs, 3 paragraphs. Squimbig's cave, entrance, rocky walls form a dark corridor. Dark rocky corridor, flickering light inside. Orc quarters, narrow passage considered poorly hidden bear trap. These light corners. So I would simplify this. I would do like yeah, actually, I'm changing things. Don't worry about this, but like, yeah, it is good to have like different sizes based upon the people. Time is important in the final battle. Problem. Okay, time is important for the final battle. So I like this idea of like how well you're able to navigate. It has some impact later, but it shouldn't be like this is like the first. This is like basically the first part of the adventure. Like maybe this is like 30 minutes into the session, and then like 3 hours later, 2 hours later, there's this thing that is connected. Like the players probably won't see that connection, and the GM might actually forget. Like if I'm playing this, I'm probably gonna forget. So it might be best to have that thing like what time they arrive at the orcish the cave. So are there orcs in this cave, or is this Grimbeak's cave? That's a little bit confusing. So is Grimbeak in here? No, Grimbeak was chased out, right? So a little bit confusing. So is Grimbeak the bad guy or the orcs the bad guy in this one? So if they arrive at this time, there's guards. If they arrive like at midnight, half the guards are sleeping, right? So there's one thing to keep in mind. If the hero, so if in the beginning the heroes failed like a bunch of things, they've been punished, they've taken damage, they failed a bunch of things. So should they be punished more when the thing matters, or should they be rewarded to compensate? So they took a lot of damage, they rolled poorly, they had bad ideas, so therefore let's take it easy on them on these first encounter. They arrived at midnight, half the orc guards are asleep. Or should it be they failed, therefore things get harder? So we want to be careful, and sometimes the answer is one, sometimes it's the other, but we do want to be careful about like a death spiral. Like the more they fail, the more they fail, right? Does it make it useful GMs? Should you provide many pass options factions for the GM to go wild with, or keep it simple? It depends. So it should be like one choice isn't enough. Like, do you want to eat peanut butter and jelly or not? Like 3 choices: grilled cheese, PB&J, or ham sandwich. Like that is a good amount of choices. But if you say like any food you can possibly imagine, right? Or like the menu at Cheesecake Factory, like it's too much. It's just too much. So there's a good balance of like having like a small amount of choices is like plenty, because the heroes are always going to do things you didn't expect anyway. And this one is Persian. Yeah. Okay. Upon noticing heroes, the orcs question their presence there. If the heroes explain their quest, they offer to join forces against Grimbeak. Oh, that's interesting. Otherwise, they attack. Once Grimbeak is slain. So I would be careful about this kind of thing. They offer to join forces against Grimbeak, because then all of a sudden Grimbeak is now like, am I as a GM? There's so now there's like 7 orc commanders. So I'm running 7 orc commanders against Grimbeak, and Grimbeak is getting a turn after each one of them, or like so like how does it actually look? So rather than join forces against Grimbeak, they will give you a potion, they'll give you a thing, they'll give you some hint, some lore about Grimbeak, yada yada yada, that kind of thing. So be careful about adding allies that makes combat longer. Like I don't want to add more turns to combat. I want my players to have as many. I want the turns to be theirs and not mine. Okay, so these orcs are not necessarily mean or bad. I guess. Hidden excavated tunnel. Banner conceals entrance. Orcs reveal it. Or okay. Upon reaching the exit, it collapses. Why would it collapse? There has to be a reason that it collapses. It can't just collapse. Everyone, DC 15. So like if you want to have like a one-way thing, cool idea. So like it could be like you have to like climb down this vine in order to get it, and then like the last person, like someone cuts the vine or the vine breaks, or like you're going through this drawbridge and like someone burns it. Like there can be cool one-way things, but it shouldn't just collapse. There should be some reason why it collapses. Chamber of Fallen Orcs. Okay, so really cool start to an adventure. We have so this so the exploration thing. No, so this is an exploration. This is sort of like getting the quest assigned. So this is like the quest hook, I guess, sort of. Or like getting this is getting the quest assigned. These are the traveling encounters. So these are not so much encounters as much as like 3 skill checks for travel. I would flesh these out just a bit. So you could probably use the same amount of words to flesh things out, but give a little bit more. Let's go to, all right, so this one, Blizzard. Sudden winds stirred up from the peaks. Get creative or make a strength save. So like get creative. Do whatever. Like there's sudden winds. What are you gonna do? If the people have a great idea, cool, you succeed. If you have no idea, all right, give me a strength save to avoid taking level damage. Okay, so like whatever level they are. So adventures ideally are not just for like 4 heroes. It could be for any number of heroes, but also it should be for any level of heroes. Like if I want to do this, like man, they're level 3, but this Vanishing Caravans adventure would be perfect for them. Like I'd love to. It makes sense in the story right now. Yeah. So instead of 4 damage, they take 3 damage. So if you can do that wherever possible, great. Okay. So they can take level damage or 1 wound from exposure. Right. So there you go. So allow them to propose their own ideas. So that is like a simple encounter, a thing that happens that gets them involved, gets them talking, gets them thinking, lets them be creative. All right, that happens, and then now we go into the next thing. And so I would prefer. I'll say that for later. Okay. So this is a cool thing. So NatureCraft check. If they're able to navigate well, they get this good thing. If they're not able to, then this bad thing happens. Then the next thing. Now the flames. We're sort of foreshadowing the flames. Cool idea. Really cool idea. And the next one we get to like the barren clearing. Okay. So some questions that I have. Why are the orcs burning things? If they're the good guys, if they're willing to work with you and team up with you and all that sort of stuff, why are they burning things? What's going on there? Why would a fire spread so quickly? I guess it says like a sudden wind, but so calling this Grimbeak's cave confused me because I thought Grimbeak was going to be in the cave. From the right opening, a child screams help. Okay, Grimbeak wants to defend her nest and eat and won't allow the child to leave. Yeah, so I don't like that. I don't like that. So like maybe Grimbeak's like egg. Okay, so like instead of like she wants to eat the child, she has adopted this child as her own. Right. This is my new egg. This is my new baby owlbear. Right. That kind of thing. Like that. If you're going to use a child, that is a much less like dangerous territory in terms of like people with busy lives are playing this game. People with kids are playing this game. Like they're not coming to like see kids get eaten. Right. Like that's unfun. So if you do want to have a child screaming help, and maybe it's a misunderstanding, and Grimbeak was the good one all along, and then the orcs are really the bad ones. Like I'm not sure what we do, but so early evening, Grimbeak is alert. Late afternoon, mid afternoon. Here's all the fish. Okay, so this is a really cool thing. I like that. I think we could simplify it a little bit. Make sure the players know that the advantage depends on time. Okay, yeah. So that's a cool idea. I think we could streamline it just a little bit. At the end of round 1, Philip runs out. He may be targeted by Grimbeak. Make sure your players are okay with it or can protect him. Yeah, okay, good. The well. Descending the stones, you see a fungi. Okay, so wrapping up this adventure. So adventures, they want to follow like a certain curve, a certain arc. So like Star Wars, like it sort of starts off like it starts off in media res, so like there's like the spaceship battle, but like the character story sort of goes like climbs to a climax and then like it sort of like ends, right? So this we have the pacing seems a bit weird to have like this. We have like the big like fighting with Darth Vader, like that's like the last act, right? Like so fighting with Grimbeak, this legendary battle is like the climax of the thing, and then like we fight with the Ewoks. Like no, that would sort of that would sort of like it's weird pacing. So no, I would like small fight, bigger fight, climax. Like that kind of thing generally feels better. Jay Leno, if anybody remembers him, he was always famous for like he would tell a joke and then he would sort of like linger on the joke for too long and like sort of wear it out. So like we have a big cool climactic combat and then like we sort of linger, like we have another like little combat sort of. I don't know, it's just it's a weird sort of pacing thing. Maybe it's just me, but we could probably just like reorganize that, rearrange that. So cool start. You definitely get it, but just a bit more work and I think you have a cool thing. So I think 2 of these are the same. So there's 3 left. I think actually 2 of these is the same. Contains an adversary roster. I'll read more about that later. So I'm going to go through this one a lot more quickly. This one and the next one a lot more quickly because I'm starting to, my voice is starting to go. The Vampire Lords, Calmenta and her husband, Ignatius were banned. Okay. 700 years ago, when their subjects rose up and staked them both through the hearts, Calmenta survived heavily wounded, and after centuries of healing, she is now awake and trying to revive her husband. That's cool. To get the required blood for its regeneration, she enslaved a clan of goblins and sends them out to harvest blood from the surrounding peat villages, lest they be drained of their own blood. Goblins plan to rebel, but are scared of coming to her pet Grood. Okay, that's a pretty cool. That is a pretty cool synopsis. So this feels like a 2 or 3 shot thing, like these big vampire bad guys. Like this is a much broader, like this is a big overarching quest, right? So I assume we don't just like we defeat the goblins, then we defeat the vampire lords, that kind of thing. Are you planning to do more? Yeah, I'm planning on doing more. So after the deadline, I'm gonna review them and I'm gonna go over some. I'll probably do another one. We'll see, probably. Okay, hooks. Golden Company earnings from the Grelling marshes have plummeted. Investigators returned with reports of a weird sickness causing anemia. They asked for more skilled investigators. So that's cool. We're hinting. So anemia. So we're hinting at like this weird blood thing. Could probably be tightened up to like be like this long or this long. The Oracle woke up from a nightmare, forcing a risk of Dark Kingdom. Yeah, I love that. Oh, super cool. Super cool. Love that. We could probably cut this part, but I love that. Whoever did this one, Blood Tax. Grivnik the Black. Yeah, Grivnik. Heard of goblins with strange powers causing trouble near his old den in the marshes. Ooh, nice. He wants to know which family stepping out of line. I love that. Yeah. Three really cool things. Save feedback is very helpful to the right things on another language. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it definitely it takes a while. It takes a while to sort of grasp it, but even for your own notes, if you can sort of get it, like your own adventures, your own notes that you're running for your own stuff, can certainly help. Okay. All right, so far so good. We could probably cut this down by half or so, but cool ideas. Treasure, sparkling dust. Let's see, tools. What's our word count at? Yeah, okay. So we're just shy of 1,000 words here. But if we're able to save like half of the words here, probably these could be half also. Then that leaves us more word budget to play with in the adventure itself. Travel events. Let's look at the treasure. Sparkling dust. If thrown unseen, it becomes visible. An illusion is well. Oh, that's cool. I would say like D4 uses or something. Shadow crystal has 3 charges that each create 1 pillar of darkness, which block all light. Shadow crystal. I would do like crush it. Crush it and it releases a shadow. It blocks all light for a minute. Red hood. Oh, that's cool. Cloak that drains black blood from enemies around you. What? Gain 1 temp HP for each entity around you. I probably wouldn't do that. Just mechanically be weird because like you're draining hit points from your allies and like just weird things can happen from that. And then like are the frogs and ants and birds all around you like getting it too. I like the idea of a red hood, but maybe you could do something else. Alchemical bell, electrum weapon, shoot blinding powder. Yeah, weapons. Got to be careful about that. Alchemical bell. Yeah, got to be real careful about some of these conditions. But cool idea. If it's single use, if it's like a wand type of thing or something, like yeah, you could pretty much do whatever. But it's gonna be a weapon that can reuse in like shape and warp combat. So I'll be using this instead of casting my spells as a mage, like that kind of thing. Then we gotta be real careful. Travel events, Vilup Arto. So this doesn't clearly read as a name. I would just say Traveling Alchemist is the encounter. Recently robbed of a sparkling dust by goblins. Can't tell the players about a hole in the ground on a hill. Go and see behind. Okay, cool. I like that. I'd like to see just like a little bit more. Like what can they do with what can they do with this? Because we have a quest, and if this guy's like giving like recently robbed of a sparkling dust, go find my dust. Like return. So is he giving another quest, or is like, if you find it, you can keep it. Just give back the goblins for me, like that kind of thing. That's fine. Blood donation group of goblins, 1 per hero plus 1. Okay. So 1 per hero plus 1 is a little bit dangerous. If there's only 2 heroes, then there's 3 goblins. If there's 100 heroes, there's 101 goblins, right? So the scaling doesn't exactly work. But yeah, the idea that you have there is fine. Debating blood, the easy way, the hard way. Okay, so I don't know what level this is supposed to be for, but 1 goblin per hero. So goblins are small creatures. Unless they outnumber the heroes, they're probably not going to be making like they're not dumb, right? They're probably not going to be like making they're probably not going to be making like demands like this from like bigger, well-armed, spooky dudes. A rough night. Giant bat flies past a half moon the next day. 1 player's by mercy of the throat. Cool idea. Give me something to do with it. Like let me know. Like okay, so it takes a few days to travel into the thing. That's cool. Is that going to happen? So like this happens, then this happens. So like they're already like pretty much there if they're already at the goblins who are like demanding blood. So like maybe this is like the last one. I'm not sure. This is a cool idea, but it shouldn't just be things that happen to you. It should be things that the heroes can interact with. Village. Anemic villagers show the players. So I wouldn't say anemic. Like you can't tell someone anemic by looking at them, but I would say pale, like weirdly pale. Like thin, gaunt. You could say things like that. Like they shake hands and they're cold to the touch. And they complain about being weak. Like you can hint at it, like that kind of thing. Anemic villagers show the players goblin tracks that lead to the dungeon's main entrance. So we shouldn't have this if we're gonna have this. So we shouldn't have these goblins like doing this. If you want to have like a foreshadowed encounter with the goblins, you can, but maybe it has to make sense. Like why I don't know. Visual locations, room 1, mural. The room seems to be sides. So I would just say empty. Or like largely empty wooden mural between the two doors. Magical characters. And again, like these are just like thoughts off the top of my head, not like change it to this. So please don't feel like please don't feel like I'm saying like change it to this and it will be great. It's just like sort of just initial ideas. And sorry, I'll zoom in. I know it's a little bit small. Players taller than 5 feet. Love that. That's really cool. Magical characters feel magical energy from the mural. That's neat. And I might tweak that to say like pick one hero who has mana or whatever to like feel like you feel magical energy coming from the mural. That's cool. So rather than this, then like the introductory thing would be I can't type here, can I? I can't type here. Let's see if I can. File, make a copy. Yeah, I can make a copy. All right, so if I was doing this, I would tweak it. I know I said I would go quicker, and I'm not. So, mural room, and I'd probably give it a better room. Sparse. We probably don't care that it's wooden. Sparse, 2 doors. You pick one hero. You feel magical energy. There you go. There you go. Like that. That's cool, right? Sparse room, 2 doors, but you feel magical energy coming from the mural. And then like, hey, bam, we're investigating the mural. Players taller than 5 feet, strength save or electrum trap shoots flash powder hits. There should be there should be okay. So I like this idea. I like the idea of some trap happening like based upon someone's height or weight or like whatever. That kind of thing is cool, like rewarding smaller characters. But like you have to give the heroes some sort of recourse to avoid it or notice it or like something like that. It shouldn't just like, oh, you're 5'1", you take 10 damage or whatever. And blinded wouldn't even matter for this if there isn't any. Ooh, I don't know what I did. I pushed some button and moved everything. Why is it doing that? I don't know. Sorry, I'm fighting with the. Okay, so blinded doesn't matter if there's no combat. So blinded might not be the best thing, but maybe the villagers, they take you to the thing. Okay, so it's a dungeon. Why would these villagers live next to a dungeon? So maybe not a dungeon, maybe a cave. But if it's cave, would it have a room? So like, yeah, let's think about this a little bit, just so it like sort of is more cohesive. But maybe the villagers say like hints at something like they don't like us tall people going in there, so be careful or whatever. But the most fun traps are the ones that you can see, and then the heroes, they can figure out how to overcome it. But just getting hit with a trap out of nowhere is not fun. Not fun. Okay. So mural shows a pale queenly figure worshipped by goblins under a half moon. Arcana reveals an illusion. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. Reveals an illusion and allows passage through the wall. So what if they touch it? So a question that I would have as a GM is like, what if they touch it, like brush it away or whatever? Can they just walk through it? So there's 2 doors and this secret door. Okay, room 2A, and is there? Okay, so there it is. Mural 2A, and then secret lab. Okay, so that goes to secret lab. Very cool. All right. Crates and boxes of stored reagents. One wooden wall has a half moon symbol. Mosquito goblins. I like it. That's a cool idea. Mosquito goblins. Crates and boxes. Okay, so the introductory thing should give me, let's go back to this. Description, a few words of descriptive text. The idea the GM can quickly scan it, blah, 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 blah. Okay, give enough information for the heroes to start playing with. Okay, so that is the goal of this text. Is there enough information for the heroes to start playing with? Maybe. Like I'll go. Let's take a closer look at the reagents. So what happens? What would I, as the GM, do if they go and look at the reagents? Hopefully the answer is magical characters from the wooden wall. So what if there are no magical heroes, magical characters? So what do we mean by magical characters? The character with the highest arcana, maybe? That's good fallback? Barrels Arcana 12 resets 1 ability like a safe rest once. Resets 1 ability like a safe rest once. I'm not sure what that means. Wall Arcana 14. So we should have different skill checks other than Arcana. So there should be like multiple different things. Reveals illusion and allows passage through the wall. Okay. So and we did do that one already. So maybe instead of Arcana revealing an illusion, it could be finesse, finding, or examination, doing something else, like finding the secret, the book that moves to do the thing. So what are things that we could do in this room? What are mosquito goblins? We could figure that out. But what are the mosquito goblins doing in this room? Are they tinkering with things? Are they talking? I don't know. So one wooden wall has a half moon symbol. What can I do with that? So Chekhov's gun again. What can I do with that? So the crates and boxes of stored reagents. So I assume like these 2 bullet points refer to this, but what does this mean? Right. And are there any other exits out of this room? I think there are. Yeah, so there's another room beyond. So there should be a bullet point of like, hey, and in the next room, there's like, you hear some sounds coming from it. Room 2B, secret storage, crates of yarrow and parchment. Whole room is filled with mirrors, graffiti. Okay, so I'm not gonna read through the whole thing because I want to get to the last one real quick. But overall, cool idea. I want to see this be more cohesive and make a little bit more sense. Why are goblins in this alchemical room? So is this the dungeon, or is this like does the villager say, "Oh, this is the old alchemists, like the condemned alchemist building that the goblins have been in," or like explain to me why there's this and all these illusions. Like tell me a little bit more about what's going on. I want to find out. It's like as I'm playing, I want to discover all of this cool information, right? I want the heroes to discover like, ooh, vampire lords Kelmeta and blah blah blah. Like we want to learn all of these different things. So I'm not seeing that yet, but I don't know if the alchemical type of thing vibes is what we're going for, because we have vampires, we've got goblins, and then we've got alchemy. Those are like vampires and goblins, like that could kind of make sense because like the vampires are like making the goblins do stuff. Okay, that makes sense. But we shouldn't have any more like we shouldn't also have ogres and alchemy and illusions and things, unless there's some good reason, right? So let's make it a little bit more cohesive. Sleeping quarters, mosquito goblins, mess hall. But overall, like you whoever has done this one has definitely understands the assignment, and this is very much just a like refining things. Oh, level 2. Okay. Cool. All right, so I'm not going to go too much into this, but maybe it's maybe it's some other creature other than goblins. Or maybe the villagers themselves, like the villagers are the ones who, like, the vampires are saying, hey, we're gonna suck your blood unless you get more people to come here. So the villagers are really the bad guys. That's a kind of cool twist. So, like, goblins doing alchemical stuff doesn't really follow, but the villagers here who are doing all these alchemical things, like, maybe the village, so maybe there's no goblins, maybe it's the villagers are, they're doing all this alchemy to see if they can cure their weird ailments that they have, right? Their blood loss, their anemia, their all of this. Maybe that's why they're delving into the alchemical stuff. And, like, over the years, it's not working. So, like, until we can get this to work, we just need to keep inviting other, fresh blood to come in, and, that all of that makes sense. Like, this is why they invited us here. Like, make it make sense and be a little bit more cohesive. I think it would be a much cooler adventure. Thanks for sharing. Okay. And don't let the word count. If you guys are, like, obsessed about the word count, don't let that be too big of a thorn in your saddle. Make a good adventure. We can always make it more concise, right? But if it's a good adventure it's fun and it makes sense, we can always trim it. We can always word it in a way that reads more clearly, more concisely. So don't worry too much about it. The final product is likely going to be less than 1,000 words. But if the first draft is a bit longer, but it's solid, like solid bones, then, like, we're okay. So don't obsess too much about some of these things. Okay, let's take a quick look at the last one, and then we'll call it a stream. Thank you guys, by the way, for hanging out. And everyone doesn't have to end in a legendary encounter. You really shouldn't expect to have a legendary encounter like every session. Like, every other session, every 3 sessions, every 4 sessions, you'll have a legendary encounter. So don't feel like you need to have one. Belshazzar's Hunger. Rubrum is a benevolent. So I do like the bolding of the words, as you just sort of get what's going on a little bit. Rubrum is a benevolent nature spirit that wanders the Elderwild, covered with succulent fruit that it shares with any who meets it. Okay, so spirits don't have fruit. So let's say maybe it's not covered. Maybe it just has the fruit that it makes or finds or something. Or instead of a nature spirit, it could be like a treant, like some sort of tree folk, benevolent dryad, like that kind of thing. So let's just make it more cohesive. Tubsy, a cult leader, has recently captured him, thinking it is an incarnation of the deity, the great king of gluttony. They believe that eating rubrum and its fruit will infuse them with Belshazzar's power. Okay, that's kind of cool. That's kind of cool. A little bit of misunderstanding. So trim down to what I assume would be legendary encountered a bunch of small guys. Yeah, cool. Yeah. Yeah, and sometimes it could be better if it's not a legendary encounter. Like, a legendary encounter should be, like, really, really special and kind of rare. But if it's like, all right, we've got like 30 minutes left of our session, here comes a legendary encounter. Yeah, we don't want it. We don't want it to feel too predictable like that. Okay, adventure hooks. So what kind of creature is Tubsy? Tubsy. We don't know. We'll see. The great king of God. Okay, their last request: an old farmer on her deathbed tasted Rubrum's fruit of the youth. Asked for adventures game. That's cool. Maybe not a farmer. Like, why would I do that for a farmer? Guardians call, like, no, just like die in peace, man. Like, hang out with your family. Why would a farmer want? So let's tweak this one. So maybe a loved one is sick and the fruit can heal the loved one, or something. Something like that. Or the old farmer was friends with the old tree dude and, like, wants to deliver a message to him, like, tell him bye. I don't know, something like that. But, like, yeah, give me some fruit before I die. Guardians call a druid of the Elderwood, asked the adventurers to help finding him who he's not been. Okay, so go find this dude. Okay, we could maybe make it a little bit more interesting, but go find this guy. Rubrum sends a character, a character with ties to nature, such as a hunter or stormshifter, please. Ooh, I like that. Yeah, a hunter or stormshifter. Love that. Really cool idea. Best idea you've so far in this one. Visions, yeah. Getting a quest from Visions is a really cool idea. Love that. These two are a little bit not as good, but this one is really cool. Really cool idea. Hunter, stormshifter, maybe even a Zephyr, or like anybody who's sort of naturey might be cool, because like you still want a party without one of these guys to be able to do this, like yeah, and anybody like someone, yeah. Rubrum's Grove. Rubrum doesn't really sound like a spirity name, or sound like rubric, like a puzzle, or like a I don't know. It doesn't sound. It doesn't give me the vibes that maybe you're going for. The Grove, clearing amongst wild orchards, once flourishing, now filled with withered plants. Players are directed. Okay. All right. Players are directed here by the farmer. So the directed here by the quest giver. Signs of struggle, dried sap, crushed fruit. Okay. Okay. This is cool. So like maybe if they investigate, they can get some of this information. Signs of scared. Okay. So things they see. Things they hear. Sound of a scared animal can be heard from the brush lining the clearing. All right, so can we get any hint? Okay, so what is the goal of Rubrum's Grove? To foreshadow something bad has happened to him. He's missing. Okay, so we're foreshadowing. So does this properly foreshadow? Maybe. Could we make it? Maybe we could make it a little bit more clear. We probably don't need this. We could just have that here. We could make it a little bit more clear. Could we hint at what? Could we have like a medium high skill check? If they roll really good, we get a hint at the bad guy of this account, or what specifically happened. If not, then I'll use, like, everybody can see the crushed fruit and boot prints or whatever. Onarch, that fat man took Rubrum. Are they going to come for me next? Oh, okay. So Onarch. Okay, so the soft whimpers, I think, are coming from Onarch. Is that what we're saying? And then this is something that Onarch is saying. Okay, Onarch is a seedling. Okay, so so if Onarch is a seedling, it shouldn't be Onarch. It should be like Sita, like her little name. My name is Sita. Like, all right, you're talking to a little seed. Like Onarch sounds like an orc or a giant or an orc. I said orc already. I'm getting tired. A giant or a troll, like something like that's a big name, not a scared seedling name. That fat man took Rubrum. Are they going to come for me next? Okay. I would put this. It's like this Onarch encounter is sort of part of the Grove, right? I don't know, maybe. Seedling who witnessed the events. Onarch is afraid of strangers, will attack unless. I wouldn't say he'll attack. Or if he attacks, it's just like, and it does 0 damage. Yeah, so I would do something like that. Like this is not a combat encounter. This is not a challenging thing. One seedling versus however many heroes. Like it's not a combat is not the intended goal of this. Yeah, so he spits a seed at you and it does 0 damage. And he tears and he says, "I'm sorry." Like that kind of thing. Right? If he attacks, he realizes immediately after the players aren't dressed like the cult and apologize. Okay, so that's cool. I would just say like 0 damage or something like that. Okay, so it's cult members, cult guys took it. What he knows? Fat Man was the boss. He and his men wore black and brown robes. They bound Rubrum with chains and carried him northeast. Okay, so yeah, it shouldn't be a nature spirit because I don't know. Spirits can't really be chained up and stuff. It should be like a tree dude who walks around. Um, Belshazzar. Okay, force encounters. Okay, so there should be and he went that way, right? Do we have that? They bound room of chains carried northeast. Okay, so that should be the last thing. This should be the last bullet point because I overlooked that. So that there's a lot going on in this bullet point and I missed it. They bound him. They went. So the last thing that you have should be the call to action. The last little thing. Okay, so we have all the information and they went that way. All right, so let's go that way. Okay. Play travel and out through the Elderwild before arriving at the cave. Forced encounters, cultists. Okay, so we have like. Okay, so we have like a little bit of like a one room of the dungeon, and then we have the encounters. That's kind of cool. That's fine. I'm okay with that. Maybe could rearrange it, but I don't know. Cultists, one per player. Checky snares for caught game and setting more. They or their trail can be followed to the cave. Okay, so these are like hunting cultists. Cultist hunting, yeah. Polluted stream. A water spirit can be found at a stream near the cave entrance. Polluted stream. A water spirit can be found at a stream near the cave entrance. It's irritated because the food waste polluting their stream from the cave. I don't know about that. I don't know about this one. Cave entrance. All right, so I'm gonna just sort of quickly scan the rest of this one. So this one, it definitely, again, whoever made this one definitely understands the assignment. Could use just a bit of tweaking for some of these. Cave entrance obscured by shimmering barrier. Okay, so that is interesting enough. So obscured, does that mean blocked or hidden? Like, is the illusion I could just like walk through, or is this like a force field type of situation? Kitchen, worship area. Okay, so this one, it'd be good to have like sketch it on like a little post-it note, or like just A B C D, like this room leads to A, just so I can sort of see what rooms are connected to what. But as far as the overall structure and ideas, I think are cool. This guy is kidnapped by these people who want to eat him. Like nice, cool, simple, straightforward adventure. Without having read everything, I'd like to see some twist. I want to make sure that whatever cool, I wouldn't mind having like a cool thing here. Like if Tubbsy, is, so if this cult is supposed to be like sloppy and yucky and obese and like wasteful, gluttonous, that all that kind of stuff, like how can we really push that? Their names are like Belshazzar, it's cool, King of Gluttony. Tubbsy, that kind of, how can we get across those vibes? Like this is a food cult, like they're all about eating stuff, right? Yeah. How can we get that across? Are there any other secrets that we can have that are like would be fun to discover? Are there any twists? Is there any cultists who like? No, I don't know. Like, are there any cool twists that could possibly happen? I'm interested to find out some of that. Okay, guys. I think that's it for now. This is a pretty cool adventure. Much further along than some of the others, but all of them have some cool ideas. If you haven't already, go ahead and think about making a submission for the Nimble Design Jam for the adventures. You can find that here on the website. I think the link is down below. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. Feel free to join the Discord channel. Let me pull up the Discord thing. So in the Discord, we have a cool design jam channel right here. People have been leaving some nice comments. So a lot of good thoughts and feedback back and forth there. Cool guys, thank you so much for hanging out. I'm gonna call it there. See you next time.